Dragon Age the Veilguard is a complete and utter failure for EA and BioWare, and basically nobody is talking about this game anymore. But I guess they had a few more tricks up their sleeve because now they've released a surprise free weapon DLC for the game after months without an update. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I haven't heard many people talking about Veilguard unless it is comparing its Steam numbers to Assassin's Creed Shadows, or at the beginning of the month, there was a lot of discussion because, of course, it went on to PlayStation Plus for the month. Besides that, though, basically nobody is really talking about this game anymore or really praising it. It's already primarily gone forgotten. But now I suppose they are releasing the last of the content they have because we're finding out that while BioWare has almost entirely moved on from Veilguard, it isn't stopping its remaining team from sneakily adding a small DLC weapons pack to the game. I think that maybe at launch they decided they were going to hold back this content because they always wanted it to coincide with a release on something like PlayStation Plus to maybe get people a little bit more interested. Though ultimately, I just feel like the people who wanted to play it already bought it, and it's not going to get anybody else to just randomly try the game because you happen to add a free weapon DLC pack. Dragon Age fans gathered in shock after the RPG Steam page was updated to include free add-on content in the form of the Rook's weapons appearance offer yesterday. It's not much, but it's still more than welcome considering EA had previously signaled that Dragon Age the Veilguard wouldn't receive much support in its future, as its fifth patch promised the future updates would largely focus on tackling game-breaking bugs all the way back in January. Brand new content feels like a bit of a miracle, even if it's not much. I think that this is so funny because nobody's talking about this. I randomly found this because I was on IGN's site looking at a different article, and then this popped up. I heard nobody mentioning this, nobody talking about this. I haven't seen any other articles besides this one. It basically flew under the radar, but this is just what happens when you release a game that nobody wants. Even the people who purchased it, like myself, didn't know about this and aren't interested in it. I bought Veilguard. I streamed a full playthrough. I thought it was fucking trash, and I didn't even know that they were updating it. Strangely, it says the Rook's Weapons Appearance bundle is only available to those who currently own the game and those who purchase it on PC by April 8th, 2025. There's no description of what is specifically included in the bundle either, though players have worked out that it grants access to a set of watchful skins that can be accessed in their Rook's in-game room. It's unclear if the offer will become available for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S versions of the game. This is insane to me, too, that they haven't released it on all platforms. I'm sure that they will, but it's like they wanted to roll this out, which I don't understand why. Even if the appearances aren't the most beautiful things ever, one Steam review says, they do give spooky eldritch horror vibes. It's cosmetic DLC, but it's essentially free DLC for a game that's practically no longer getting new content. I'll live with that. They took two comments, one from Steam and one from Reddit, that are praising this decision when nobody else is. I think that this just truly sums up the state of IGN and games journalism. But yeah, the only time I've heard people talking about Veilguard recently are when I personally have done videos and I've mentioned that it went up on PlayStation Plus, but also people comparing Veilguard's numbers to Shadows because Assassin's Creed Shadows has hit 60K on its release weekend on Steam, while Dragon Age the Veilguard's all-time peak is 89,418. Never did I think we were living in a timeline where Veilguard's underperforming 90K was still doing better than Assassin's Creed Shadows. You would think Assassin's Creed Shadows would be at 100, maybe 150K, especially where they're saying there's 2 million players in the game, which I just don't know how you get 2 million players and then you only have 60K on Steam. Whatever, though, they can say whatever they want. I'm personally not going to believe them until we actually see some kind of sales. Though there's only 3,935 players in-game for Veilguard right now, so I think that they just decided, you know what, we have this DLC that we can pump out to people, maybe get a couple more individuals interested in playing this game, but it's not enough to get anybody to re-download it or tune back into the game. It's like I finished Veilguard and I uninstalled it and I will never reinstall it. Unless they just randomly dropped like a big DLC, which we know that they're not doing. There's no way I would ever re-download this game. It was trash all around. I think that I gave it a 3 out of 10, which I gotta be honest, is honestly a little bit generous of me, I think, but it was a terrible experience all around. It didn't feel like Dragon Age. It was like a modernized young adult take on this fantasy world that did not capture my attention or clearly many people's attention given it underperformed. But it says Dragon Age The Veilguard launched to positive reviews from critics in October, but according to EA, failed to resonate with a broad enough audience. I always think that it's funny when outlets only talk about the critics. Like the critics are the only ones that matter. The critics have rated this positively and therefore you should too. I think that it is so cringeworthy, I guess, of them because they don't want to put the attention on gamers, the people who actually showed up, or in this case, did not show up to swipe their credit cards. And if you look at the reviews for Dragon Age The Veilguard on social media and on Steam, there are many negative ones, more negative ones than positive ones. It says, though, lead members of its team announced that they would be leaving BioWare in late January, as much of its staff was either laid off or moved to other roles within the company. And at the time, EA told IGN that the studio has shifted to put its full focus on the next Mass Effect, which I love Mass Effect. But I do not trust current day BioWare. They are a shell of the company that they once were. And I was giving them the benefit of the doubt with Dragon Age The Veilguard. I thought to myself, maybe they'll still put out a half-decent product. Maybe this will still be slightly enjoyable. It was not. Modern day terminology is thrown in your face constantly, like transgender, non-binary. There's top surgery, scar toggles. There's pronoun options. But on top of that, you have characters that are just caricatures. They don't feel like they're supposed to be living human beings or individuals who are supposed to be humanistic, like Tosh, for example. They do not feel like a person. They just feel like a walking billboard for a certain sexuality. And you can't abandon them. You can't kill them. You have to have them in your party, and you have to listen to their slop. You have to listen to them go, actually, guys, I'm non-binary. That's just not what I want in my fantasy dragon game. It's not what a lot of people want in their fantasy dragon game. And it just goes to show that the development team was more worried about pushing a narrative than making fun entertainment and escapism. And, well, they failed. Their project was a complete flop, and I have no faith in any of these team members that are going forward into the next Mass Effect game. I want to have hope, but I can't at this point. I gave them the benefit of the doubt with Dragon Age The Veilguard. I gave it a shot, though I have zero excitement for the next Mass Effect just because while, yes, they're bringing back a lot of vets do not make up for the hundreds of other developers who want to push a narrative with their content, and I'm sure that those veterans' voices will probably be overshadowed. Maybe it'll come out and it will be amazing, and we'll all be proven wrong, and BioWare will be back to their glory days, though I highly doubt it. So yes, Veilguard actually got a surprise-free weapons DLC that absolutely nobody is talking about. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.